Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about ICAST. And ICAST has caused quite the buzz this year, and not for the usual reasons. And, you know, the big thing on everybody's radar this year is ICAST dying? So what I want to do is I want to give a couple points from your average angler here, RHINOJOE Outdoors. And, you know, I'm no big, guy in the industry. I'm just an average guy that's probably going to buy a lot of this stuff, and the average consumer. So I just kind of want to give my take on somebody that's not really all wrapped up in the industry. So, I've started fishing from a very young age, and I've come, to this point, all the way from being that young boy who used to get super pumped up every time the Bass Pro spring fishing catalog would come out, and I would flip through the pages and go through with a marker and circle all the things that I wanted. And that's where I started at. But now that brings me to here. So the first thing that I want to discuss, and the first reason why I think that a lot of people are saying that ICAST is dying, is that it feels very elitist. And whenever I say elitist, it just feels like it's very expensive to even connect with the things that they're debuting at ICAST. Everything is getting a lot more expensive. Everything from lures and baits. Just noticed the last time I went to the store, I went to, and, I'll show you all here. Got me a little bit of a haul from Academy, because I was at Academy the other day, and just things are getting expensive, and it's really becoming more and more expensive to buy baits and lures and go fishing. And that's just separate from even everything else, from boat prices to electronics and everything. It's becoming more and more of an elitist sport. And so, like, whenever you look at, fishing bass tournaments and stuff like that, there is such a big gap between the average fisherman and being able to even dream about having that, dream become a reality of becoming a professional fisherman. When I was a young kid, I felt like it was pretty much in touch. Like, I felt like you could start from nothing and work your way up to fishing in the pros and the elites and that kind of stuff. But now it just feels so out of touch. And a lot of the things that they debut at ICAST are really expensive and, feel extremely out of the range of the average consumer right now, especially with the economy the way that it is. And, it just feels like overall as a society that there is a lot bigger gap between the people that are at the very top and then the middle class. The middle class is pretty low. I mean, shoot, I had a friend the other day, and he was just talking about getting a job as a, assistant manager somewhere. And he said that their starting salary was $20 an hour for an assistant manager. And when you think about that in the big scheme of things, like $46,000 a year, and this is for somebody with quite a lot of experience, it's really not much. And it just makes you realize, like, being able to afford an $80,000 boat with, an extra $20,000 in electronics and stuff like that is just way out of touch. So I just feel like that's a big reason why ICAST it doesn't feel as exciting anymore, because so many of the things are out of reach to the average angler. And then that's going to kind of bring me to my second subject here, and that is influencer fatigue. I think a lot of us out here have what I call influencer fatigue, and that is, it's driven by, the last like 5 to 7 years where, everybody on the influencer platforms, YouTube, Instagram, is just trying to sell you something, and it freaking sucks. I'll tell you a little story here, and hopefully this will make a little bit more sense. A couple of years back, I was very unhappy in my job, and I had gone to a church group, and I had met a group of guys. And, I've been very open with them about the fact that I was trying to search for a new career. And out of nowhere, one of them messages me one day and says, "Hey, do you want to meet up for coffee? I want to talk about some opportunities with you." And so I got freaking pumped, and I was like, all right, maybe this is finally my chance. Like, this guy's, worked for a really good company here where I live, And I was thinking, you know what, this guy is going to maybe help me get a job in his company. And, I meet the guy for coffee, and next thing you know, he's trying to talk to me about a multi-level marketing pyramid scheme, basically thing that he's trying to get me to buy into. And it's just that nasty taste. Like, I came here thinking I was going to get some good, and all I'm getting is you trying to sell me some freaking scam or something. And honestly, that's a lot of the way that it feels getting on YouTube and everything right now, because everybody's trying to sell you something. And I just think that people are tired of influencers. I think people are tired of these people constantly trying to make a dime off of them. And, a lot of them don't really have anything to offer. They just, will record a video and tell you to sign up for their program, or, do their lake map breakdown, or buy their lure, buy their coffee. And it's just like exhausting. And I feel like that's a lot of the reason too, is because, back once the influencer age kind of started, that's how a lot of people really found out about ICAST. You'd see good videos come out as people are going to ICAST about new products and stuff. And I just don't even want to really watch them anymore, because, somebody's always trying to get you to buy something or use their discount code. And it's just like, it's just not cool. It's just not cool anymore. So that's one reason why I strive to say, like, hey, listen, I'll make videos about the things that I use. I do link them in the description. And, if you want to do, use them. It makes it easy for you. But I'm not going to be trying to start RHINOJOE Outdoors Coffee or something and sell you my brand of coffee. It's just stupid. But that brings me to my very last point here. So I think that we're just really getting into a period in the fishing industry where there's a lot of shifting happening. And I think that we're kind of at a tipping point with the industry. And I think we're probably going to see it over the next couple of years with regards to a lot of things, whether that's tournament fishing, these trade shows, lure prices, boat prices. I feel like eventually something's got to break. And I think that it's going to cause some major ripples in the fishing industry. But with any major ripples or any major breaks, it leaves the opportunity for new people to come into the game. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next couple of years as far as the fishing industry as a whole and ICAST. But let me know what your thoughts are on any of these points down in the comments below, and let me know what you think, because I'm just your average fisherman. I like to fish, and I don't usually get too wrapped up in it. But I think I'm going to get back to doing what I was doing here. I'm going to organize these baits that I've got, get them all put away, get the boat ready, and get ready for my next fishing adventure. But as always, guys, I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you in the next one.